Erev Shabbat Shalom. We live in a world where we all crave instant, immediate gratification. And this week we come to Parshat Vayechi, the final portion in the book of Genesis, where Jacob, who is seen as the Bachir, the premier of all the Avot, because he manages to keep all his children in the covenant, whereas Abraham, ultimately at Sarah's encouragement, but reads Ishmael out of the covenant. Isaac, against his better wishes, loses Esau from the covenant, and Jacob manages to keep the whole family together. And at the very end, in his final, he's the only one with really a elongated scene, his death scene, his ethical will, if you wish. He says, V'yikra Yaakov el banav, Jacob calls to his children, V'yomer asfu, gather, Va'agida lachem et asher yikra etchem b'achrit hayamim. Gather around, and I'll tell you what's going to happen in the end of days, how things will finally unfold. Rashi, citing the Midrash, says, Bikesh legalot et haketz, v'nistalek mimenu hashchinah. He wishes to reveal how things are going to turn out. And I feel that certainly in the world post-corona, there's an added sense of uncertainty of how things will play out. And we'd all want to know how things turn out. And immediately, the divine presence, his insight, his prophetic power to see and tell the future, nistalek, disappeared. And we began to speak of dvarim acherim, of other things. Those other things, the verse continues with the statement that he says, Kasu shemu b'nei Israel, shemu liYisrael avichem. Gather around and listen to Israel, the sons of Jacob, listen to Israel, your father. And he goes through each child, highlighting both strengths and weaknesses. And each one is in fact different, but they're all listening liYisrael avichem. And the Midrash suggests that oftentimes we think that we're all coming to a common case, that we all need to be identical. And really, we're all different with our own strengths and our own weaknesses. And if we wish legalot et haketz, if we wish we understand how things happen, they happen because each one of us becomes more of who we are. We develop our strengths. We find ways to compensate for our weaknesses. And we find ways to appreciate our friends, our spouse, our children's strengths and weaknesses. And together we fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. And that, in fact, is the vision of the Shiftei Yaakov, of the Shiftei Yah, of the 12 tribes of Jacob that represent the Jewish people. And perhaps in some ways they represent the gift of humanity, that each one of us has a different face, each one of us has different strengths and weaknesses, and together we create a stronger, more perfect union, more perfect world when we're able to appreciate our diversity and still share common goals of mutual support, of helping one another, of dreaming together, of creating a more perfect world. And that, in fact, is Jacob's vision. Bikesh legalot et haketz. He wanted to reveal how things will end. And God, in fact, tells him things end by each one of us becoming truer to our own selves, refining ourselves, improving ourselves, and appreciating the strengths that others bring to our weaknesses. Shabbat Shalom.